I'm Rob Collins with the American Heritage Museum, and today we're going to drive the legendary M4A3 Sherman, which is one of the tanks available in our driving program where you can get behind the controls and drive not only the Sherman, but also the M24 Chaffee, two of the iconic American tanks from World War II. The M4A3 Sherman was a tank that was used throughout World War II. It's a medium tank, even though it weighs 40 tons, and it was used in North Africa, the European theater, from D-Day through Battle of the Bulge to the end of the war, with a lot of different varieties. This one here has a 75mm cannon, but they also had the 76mm cannon. The British used a 17-pounder and all the way up to a 105 howitzer, so an incredibly versatile tank. But most of all, it's incredible to drive this because you think about the tens of thousands of men, young boys, really, who got into these tanks and drove them all the way across Europe to fight for our freedom. The M4 Sherman made a name for itself throughout history in battles like Anzio, North Africa, Normandy, Battle of the Bulge, and even the Pacific landings. But this particular tank is also a movie star, having been in the Blues Brothers and the feature of the movie Tank, where James Garner sat in this exact seat driving this exact vehicle.
So starting the Sherman, we turn our master batteries on. Light is on, mag switch goes to both, pump the throttle a few times and then have it cracked, clutch all the way in and engage the starter. That 1100 cubic inch V8 comes to life. The American Heritage Museum crew has restored this vehicle in such an amazing way. So when you come in here, you are stepping back to 1944 as the vehicle would have been when these guys were driving it across Europe and fighting for our freedom. There is one modern convenience, however. The intercom system back then was not very good, and you can see them up here. We are actually using a modern David Clark system, which allows us to communicate so much easier, which is important because when this thing starts going, that engine really is thumping, and it is impossible to communicate even just a couple feet apart. With the Sherman tank, this is a manual transmission, and the only way we steer is through brakes. So I pull on this right stick here, and that allows us to turn right. And the left stick, of course, we turn to the left. It's a really physical tank to be driving. It is 40 tons, so it's amazing to think about these guys having to drive it for 8 or 10 hours a day in Europe. The Sherman suspension is called a vertical volute suspension, and frankly, it's not all that great. So when we go over these logs, you're really going to feel it. It's a lot of bouncing. It's not like the Chaffee with the torsion bar suspension. So we can really feel going over those logs. It's bouncing away. It is something else. I mean, you have 40 tons that you're driving, and now we're going to go up this hill. We're going to roll a little more throttle in as we climb up and over, and the Sherman has no trouble doing that. When you come and do the American Heritage Museum driving program, you're sitting in this seat. You are driving the tank the entire time. You're feeling what it was like to be one of these drivers of a Sherman in combat. No one's going to shoot at you, but you're going to be tired at the end of the day from the physicality of driving this thing around. It is an absolute honor to be able to start to experience what it was like for these brave young 18, 19-year-olds that were defending our freedom throughout Europe and the Pacific.
I hope you enjoyed riding along on this M4 Sherman as much as I enjoyed driving it. And if you want the opportunity to get into the driver's hatch and take the controls of this legendary tank, you can go to AmericanHeritageMuseum.org and sign up today for both the M4A3 Sherman and the M24 Chaffee, two of the iconic vehicles from World War II.